Dear girls, dear presenters, welcome to event Girls in ICT. My name is Katja Moher-Bastar. I'm coming from Digital Innovation Hub from Slovenia. I work together with Anna, who prepared the event, together with Linka and Joseph. Thank you for that. We've had a first event for Girls in ICT this year in July, and it was really nice, and we are so happy that it was so successful that we can have it again. How will we conduct this event today? First of all, we have a short presentation of teacher Martina Teichmannová, who will present us the practice of her school with special attention to the activities during the Code Week. After her presentation, we will continue with speakers from Slovakia, Czech Republic and Slovenia, which will I present one by one. And after their presentation, we will go to breakout rooms by countries, which will be further described by Joseph later on. Ms. Teichmannová, please, the floor is yours. I give you like 5 minutes, and I give you the floor now.
Okay, thank you very much, Katja. I will try to share my presentation. Now you can see. Yeah, great, excellent. My name is Martina Teichmannová, as you can see, and I'm one of the Czech Code Week ambassadors here in the Czech Republic. I'm a primary teacher in a small town called Lanškroun, and I've got a picture of Lanškroun. I don't know. Yeah, have to move it like that. Okay, get it. Our school is an elementary public school for about 500 pupils, and I would like to describe how we work with children here, especially at the primary ones. There is a new curriculum concerning informatics in the Czech Republic, which we are implementing at our school now. IT as a subject starts from 4th class and continue till 9th class. Children have one lesson every week. We teach them computational thinking from beginning, means the 1st class. What we do is to implement robots, tablets, computers to other school subjects. They love using robots during learning new letters. You can see here S or Esh, it was Esh. Or coding blue bots after reading books and analyzing their storyline. Here you can see the photo from the library. There is no problem at the age. Boys or girls work together, and they are really enthusiastic for these activities. They like it. Older primary children start to have some problem. Girls are less interested in computers, so we try to motivate them for competitions. The most popular is Mikrotela, as you can see the photos here, which takes place in our town every year. We use crafting lessons and Czech language lessons for pupils' projects. Children are always very happy to work in such competitions. Girls cooperate with girls and sometimes with boys as well. Children are also supported by after-school club. They can join in their free time. I'm, for example, leader of European Project Club, and we train their international cooperation. Maybe someone of you knows the e-twinning projects. So that's what we love here, what we are good at. And not just international cooperation, but also the IT tools as well. That's what we use. For example, we work with Canva, we use Mentimeter, OrgPads, Padlets, and so on. Well, I have to say, girls are very enthusiastic with this club. They really like to join it. Since we are active in developing computational thinking at our school, it makes a lot of sense for us to organize Code Week every year. Code Week is very, very popular among our pupils. This year topic was, for example, Welcome Girls. We had 5 workshops. We worked with microbits, Ozobots. There was a dancing hour of code, 3D printing, and also the robot called Emil from Mr. Kalash. You may know in Slovak because he is Slovak. So he comes from the Czech Republic. All these activities should support girls. So topics were like dancing, emotions, girls' stories, women in space, gardening, and so on. Little children were, I'll show you more, were supported by older children, especially girls. And it was big fun. And children also brought their parents to show them what coding is. They try to teach them. Finally, I would love to say I love my job, and that's also because we've got a great team at our school, and our headmistress supports us a lot. Here you can see the picture. We have 2 Italian teachers, and they taught us how to make our own robots. So some STEM activities. Yeah, and that's it from me.
Thank you very much, Ms. Teichmannová. Now let's move to Slovakia first. First, I would like to introduce Ms. Anna Záhorčáková. I hope this is correct. Anna works in DITEC from 2010, and for the last 6 years, she is the sales manager. Her role is development of business and marketing activities, but she is dedicated to work in ICT from 1986. In her career and personally development, she worked with a financial authority portal and central electronic map, One Window. She's interested by the women issues, and she feels that she can help a lot to young women and girls who are interested in ICT, and that is her mission. So Ms. Anna Záhorčáková, the floor is yours. You have up to 10 minutes to present your story, please.
Thank you, Katia, very much. Hi, girls, everyone. I was asked to tell you my story of a woman in ICT. All right, then. The first time I came across ICT was in school. I was 16, programming algorithms and systems. From the bottom of my heart, I hated them. However, amongst the choices of chemistry and mechanical engineering, it was the lesser evil. I longed to study at the Faculty of Philosophy, where I had it after finishing high school. I failed the interview. This is when life led me back to programming, and my work as an operator in a computing center began. This time around, I listened. I applied for a degree in automated control systems. I have had many jobs, but programming was a part of each, and every one of them. I was the owner of a company, programmer, an analyst. I worked with information systems in a bank. However, these jobs led me to the realization that maybe I should leave programming to the people who excel in it, and I should focus on what I'm best in. listening to others, recognizing their needs, and understanding technology. And this is how I became a businesswoman in ICT. This journey of mine continues till this day. Gradually, I went from the position of project manager to account manager. Now I rose to where I am today. I am the sales manager of DITEC Corporation, which is one of the leading ICT company or suppliers of the state. We deliver system to the Ministry of Finance of the Slovak Republic, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Informatics, Slovak National Railways, and many others. I am also a member of the board of directors of DTCA Corporation, which delivers service of the Accredited Certification Authority. Aside from my occupation, I have another mission. I am the ambassador of women in IT. If little girls and young women can see themselves enjoying ICT, I urge them to ignore the prejudices of society and join us. There is an abundance of work opportunities in our field. Life in Slovakia proves that stereotypes against women in technological fields still exist, which can dissuade girls from pursuing ICT. I'm also trying to educate my male colleagues to make this possible. We work with little girls in school age 9 to 12. We've done multiple workshops with Ozobots too, which was already mentioned by my Czech colleague. And we did a lot of surveys of the current situation of women in ICT. We also organized a competition for girls aged 15 to 19 that's currently going on. It's called the IT Opportunity Award. They can write an essay or make a presentation on the given topics with the possibility to win a prize of up to 500 euros. This is my way of inviting girls to join, maybe. The winner is announced at the Itapa Gala evening. I also organize the chamber event called Equal IT, where my guests are always interesting. They are successful business women, top managers, women in banking sector. A guest was pilot woman and so on. It's really very interesting. Together we discuss about female struggles, and you can look this up at equal.sk. And who am I otherwise? I'm a wife to a wonderful husband who also works in IT, and the mother of twin girls. They are 20 years old. I'm a retired judist. And I still enjoy sports, although more mellow ones. I meditate, write, travel. I enjoy personal growth, and most of all, I surround myself with the people I love. That's all from us.
Thank you very much for your warm presentation. Now we will move on to Ms. Aďa Ubreži, who is the product manager in the Slovakian eGovernment, and she is searching for a solution for improvement of public services. Before, she was the owner of Informa Markets, where she supported development and building of new content platforms. And as I remember from yesterday, she is jumping out of the planes. Is that correct, Aďa? The floor is yours.
Not the planes, but so I'm doing paragliding, and I'm actually now working on my license to be like the paraglidist on my own. So
Well,
for now,
adrenaline either way.
yeah, a little bit. Okay, great. Thanks for a great introduction. And first of all, like I'd like to thank you girls and here from the Digital Coalition for like giving me a space today, and also just to be here and share the space like with so many amazing women. So I prepared like a short presentation. I don't know actually if, oh yeah, I can share the screen. So just tell me if you can see it.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So under pressure 10 minutes. Okay, I'll try to be brief. So basically my story today is about how I became a product manager. For those of you who maybe don't know what the product manager is, I'll just describe it very simply. Like what I basically do on everyday basis is I look for the problems, I prioritize the problems, and I try to solve the problems in tech. So I actually never thought about, you know, of me as working in tech. I, similarly as to the previous speaker, I actually almost failed our programming class, like at the secondary school. And I was like, okay, this is definitely not for me. And it was also, I was not thinking about like joining the tech because mostly everyone who worked like around me or even the family that I knew were like, oh, they picked a career and they were practically doing it till now, like for the entire life. So, and at the time I was starting to think like, okay, so what's something that kind of like interests me? And when I was at the university, I started a bunch of studied a bunch of projects and like subjects. And at my last 2 years, I really decided to focus on marketing because I was really like attracted to the creative concepts, and you can reach out to the people, you can impact them through like different ways in psychology, and also just like create all these amazing campaigns. Actually, this is like an example, one of my favorites. So for those of you who don't know it, this is a commercial from the Super Bowl that Volkswagen made, you know, in collaboration with the Star Wars, and it's just totally amazing. So one of the goals that I also said was like, okay, after I graduate, I really want to work for like Coca-Cola, Red Bull, or like Volkswagen, and like all these cool companies. But no one actually hired me because I didn't have any real world experience. So I was trying to like think about like, okay, what am I going to do? And actually what occurred to me was to look for the internships, because that was like the easiest way, you know, to get some experience. And I applied for a couple of them, and I was lucky enough to get the one in the Netherlands, and where I lived for the next like 10 years, out of which 7 I worked in marketing, and it was either product marketing or it was event marketing. So I was doing a lot of stuff like concerning like the marketing campaigns, and I was working on the website, partially like developments, or it was more of a content creation. I was doing a lot of email campaigns, like online and offsite experiences for people attending the events, and maybe like surveys. And it was also in Netherlands where I got to know my best friend, Sarah. And Sarah is a solution architect in AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. So that's part of, it's a cloud, it's kind of a cloud part of Amazon. And she was actually the one who opened me again to the world of tech. Like I met a lot of her colleagues, and like she took me for the meetups. I got to know the projects that she worked on. And I also saw her, because we were flatmates, to work on her own website. And I was thinking like, actually, that's pretty cool that she doesn't have to pay anyone to, you know, build her website or anything. And she doesn't have to wait for anyone. So I was like, okay, maybe I want to have more of an like practical impact rather than to do like nice things in the marketing. So I was trying to think like, okay, so what's next? Around like 2016, I also met another girls, and some of them were working in tech and some of them were working in events. And what we did, we created a nonprofit organization. So it's called C#, and that's derived from the programming language called C#. And so this nonprofit was basically for women and girls and non-binary people to enter, grow, and stay in tech. And this was a great opportunity for me because I don't have any education in like programming whatsoever, or any data science. So like through hackathons, through mentorships, through organizing meetups, through like listening to the stories of other women and the challenges that they overcame to enter tech, I felt very inspired. And I was really thinking like, okay, like maybe I just want to change the career. But there were like a lot of struggles on the way because I had a certain salary, I built up my career, and it was very difficult to like give up the status. So it required a lot of change of mind. And as I got to know the tech, I mean, there were so many options, because when you're entering the tech field, there doesn't have to be only like software engineers. There is like cloud architecture, product designer, product management, user research, and there are like tons of languages that you can actually learn. So it's like very, very hard to choose just one. And so I was really struggling like what to do. And actually, sometimes some solutions are the easiest. So I started watching just a lot of YouTube videos. And there I found a lot of advice from like other people, and especially women, like, okay, what was the approach that they took? And one of the advices that I've heard there was like, try to look at the skills that you already have, and maybe try to look for the easiest channel to enter the tech. And for me, the easiest channel at the time was to look at the positions available in my company and also assess my skills. So when I took a better look, it was actually like, okay, so product management is something that I kind of fit in. And it also sounds very interesting. Like, I definitely don't have time to learn to code because this will take me years and I really want to just start. So in the end, I decided to become a product manager. And it definitely was not easy because I had to wait for my first position for 7 months. I originally was first a digital producer, but it was a great stepping stone because I learned like how to write user stories, what it actually means, all this like strange programming language. I get to work with the developers and, like run the Scrum ceremonies and actually deliver like the real, like tangible projects, which is super, super great because actually you see the impact that you have, on people. And then 2.5 years later, here we are. I currently work in eGovernment, as mentioned, specifically at the Ministry of Regional Development, Investment and Informatization. And I'm a member of the product team, and I'm super, super happy to say that 1.5 years ago when I started, I was a single woman on my team. And now there is over 50% of our team is women. So like, it's great to see that like, you're not on your own, and there's and the interest in the area is really growing also within girls and within women. So just to sum it up, like I think these are some of the advices that I wish that I had at the beginning, that no matter where you are, like whether you decide to maybe go and study programming right now or it's later, like just realize that it can be like super challenging for someone, but that you are not on your own. Like there is a lot of communities, a lot of mentors, a lot of resources out there. So take your time to figure things out. And I think one of the best advices that I was ever given by my friend is just Google, because like Google has everything. So whatever questions you have, like you can for sure find the answers on Google, but of course, don't forget to ask like your friends and the community that you have here, and especially ask for help that you need. And what is very important to not only build your career, but maybe to like progress in the world of tech is really to network. And just to make it a little bit easier, I prepared like a list of some of the resources. So in case you have like a QR code scanner, you can just like scan the code, and I think you should be able to access it, and you will see something like this. And if you do not have it, I think I'll just post the link like directly into the into the chat that we have over here. So yeah, I guess that's it for me. I hope I managed the time. I was trying to be
very
brave.
well.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, thanks again a lot. And yeah, I guess like later we'll be split into groups. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, like I'm ready and here to answer. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So the questions will be, you will be able to post them in the breakout rooms. But now, because the time is running, we have to go on, and we are moving now to Czech Republic. With us is Barbora Buhnová, who is Associate Professor and Vice Dean on the Masarykova University, Faculty of Informatics in Brno. After her career as a researcher, now she leads many research groups, and she's also active in Czech Center of Excellence for Cybersecurity, Cybercrime, C4E. She's co-founder and board member of Czechitas. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Aiming to better accessibility to IT knowledge of youth and women. And I will give you the floor now, so you will present yourself better than I will. And let's move on. Barbora.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much, Katja. I already shared my presentation. In the meantime, I also would like to share my story and then actually go to some bits and pieces about Czechitas just a little bit at the end of the story. What I'd like to start with, it's kind of a timeline. Something that I only with time actually understood that formed me quite substantially, and that's that I was born in the communist Czechoslovakia, which was a country where democracy, freedom, and access to knowledge and education was quite limited. And I think that it actually formed me quite a bit, because then when I grew a little older and we got the opportunity to travel and to learn new things, I became really, I would say, unstoppable. I was so eager to learn new things. I remember actually spending my vacations and my summers in the US Army camps, where children of American soldiers learning English and playing baseball with them. And it was really, I remember like it was such a strong thing, like the ability to learn new things and to access to education. And I think it might have been also one thing that then, like led me to the quite crazy decision to try computing and computer science as a university major. Now, with just for your context, like to understand why it was crazy, was that it wasn't really something that like I never spent time with the computer. So I had a major struggle already to write on a keyboard, and also like given that during the high school I was used to having quite good grades, having quite good results. I'm actually super grateful for that decision to actually throw that all away and try something that is new and challenging and exciting. When I started university, it was quite a new environment. I was quite lucky that my parents back then were really supportive, because they didn't have access to education themselves, also due to the times they were living in. So when I started university, I was actually the first in the family who ever started university, and there was no pressure on me finishing the university. It was quite an achievement already to actually start the university. So I knew that this might be hard, and I actually expected this to be much harder. I through time was surprised that I ended up with well with exams, and things are going better than I expected. Yet my confidence was really in minus degrees. So it was my environment, which I was super lucky with, because they were the ones who told me, hey, you're really good, you're better than you're thinking. And I think that was super important. Once they were just telling me, I didn't hear that so much, but when the teachers invited me to engage in teaching and start also like correcting some homeworks and things. That was, I think, the signal that was super important for me. And it's also what we see in Czechitas, and I will speak about it maybe if I have time, is that I see that really around myself, whenever there is a girl who is not really sure about herself, really like, like pulling her in and showing her how good she really is, because she often doesn't see it, is so important. So like for me, this step was super important because I got this confidence to think, oh, maybe I can stay at university, I can continue my studies. And the thing that I was super eager for education also led me to not only start a PhD, but also to start another university. So I have 2 master degrees from 2 different universities. With the PhD, what was quite important is that there were challenges. And I think that challenges are like an amazing thing, because myself, at least, like I was a perfectionist who wouldn't really go into situations where I would fail. So being pushed into the situations and being pushed to fail, to find out that I actually didn't do so badly, was super important. So like having this challenge and being pushed a little bit was really something that like helped me understand that I can go further than I thought. This challenge that I had when studying my research was that my supervisor, who shall actually be the smarter one and leading me towards like understanding everything, was working on different field. So he was in computer graphics and I was in software engineering. And so I actually didn't have this navigation, and I needed to like look out and search for people who I could learn from. So when I was at my first conference, I was already, like being kind of like pushed out of my comfort zone to talk to people, to talk to those professors. I was really scared of them, but to talk to them and actually, I was surprised that they saw me as much smarter than I saw myself. So I got a couple of invitations to visit their groups, to work on some research with them. And I said yes to everything. So like all the opportunities, I was like for it. So I ended up in Germany at the university, at a like amazing professor. And he was really great because what he did is that he really was trying to grow his own people, like in the team. And I think that's also where I learned how to lead my research groups and how to grow people into their best potential. So he introduced me to many communities and to different also conference organizing team, which then became my international families. And that was something that I got really excited about, deciding I never want to leave academia because I felt such a great support from the community. I spending around like 1 year in Germany as a researcher, then some time in Australia, which was amazing. I worked there with a couple of nationalities, and I found that I actually love working with very diverse communities and environments and learning from people rather than teaching them. So back then they actually invited me to Australia because they liked my research. They contacted me because they read my papers and my dissertation topic, and they wanted to extend my research. And I came there actually, throw my research away and say, I want to learn from you. Tell me what you do, what you can do. And so although I was a software engineer, like in Australia, I was diving into like embedded systems in cars and doing more like technology engineering. But it was super exciting and so interesting. I would say that my main communities and what I love about research is the innovation. I really like innovation so much. I love my buddies for innovation. It's my teams. It's like here the picture on the left is part of my team, is my PhD students and a postdoc researcher I have, and they are just amazing. They are of so many different nationalities, like Hind is from Morocco, and Emilia is from Romania, and Dasha is from Slovakia. Danish is from Pakistan, and David is from Slovakia, but is Hungarian. And actually also like build this family around the globe. So on the right you see Daye and Adriana, And what's amazing about this is that what connects me, Daya, and Adriana is Isha. Isha is not in the picture, but we were sending the picture to Isha. Isha is from China, and Isha was my roommate on a conference in Argentina in 2017. Then Isha was Daya's roommate in 2018 on the same conference, and then Adriana's roommate in 2019. And we do these roommate reunions and all conferences we meet. And I must say that just this community is really amazing. Now, one important point that I didn't mention, and that's my last 2 minutes, is that in 2014, a very important breaking point happened, and that is a co-funding of the Czechitas organization. Now, Czechitas is an organization that we started in the Czech Republic, being motivated by seeing so few girls in computing, while knowing how amazing girls and women are in computing. So on those pictures I showed you, like Isha is working with NASA now, Adriana is working in Google, Daya is still a PhD student, she's the youngest. But the contributions we are doing like together are just amazing. And so with Czechitas, we wanted to show girls who were excited about trying computing, but were thinking that it's too late to start, too late to try, that it's never too late to try, it's never too late to start. And we started with activities that were really more, I would say, approaching our friends and trying to bring them on board, put a hands on coding, and just try it out. But then understanding that we actually know how to attract them, how to bring them in, how to make them feel welcome. And these activities started to grow. We started to talk to teachers and children. We started to talk to school headmasters. And then understanding that our main contributions is helping women who want to change a career because they thought it's too late to start and they were waiting so long that now they actually really need a support, a community that would just guide them through that difficult journey of a career change. And so in Czechitas, we now work with over 100 companies. We influence over 30,000 women so far, with a much greater population of people who also tried our tutorials and different materials that we have on the website. Organized over 1,500 courses so far, which is just incredible, and also shifted the scale in the Czech Republic. So while the situation of women is still not very good, we are moving forward in terms of the participation of girls in universities, in ICT studies, and we hope that we contributed at least a little bit to that trend, which is otherwise not visible in other European countries. So with that, thank you so much for attention. Wish us good luck. We actually in December, we are in the finals of Equals in Tech Award. Last year, we were in the finals of the Social Economy Awards and we got the first prize, the first place. So yeah, things are going really well. And I hope that this will continue. Thank you so much.
Thank you and good luck for future as well. Now we will move on with Tereza Bartoníčková, hopefully that's correct, who initially worked at Google in marketing, moved to Oxford Internet Institute with focus on regulation and ethics of technology. And then with her colleagues, she founded Czech Internet Institute. And after working governmental sector, she became the consultant to vice president in the government who is responsible for digitalization. She's also the lieutenant in the Czech Army for cybersecurity, and in her free time, she's trying to finish her PhD. I can feel you. I do the same. And yeah, Tereza, the floor is yours. And here.
Well, thank you. So I thought about, I don't have any presentation, by the way. I am not a presentation girl per se. So, but as I listened to our speakers today, I got the feeling and the inspiration to kind of say a few things. So first, I would like to introduce myself a little bit more because I'm also from marketing. I was working in marketing, and then I kind of found out that nobody actually can merge offline marketing and online marketing, which means just the marketing you see on the internet and the marketing you see, I don't know, on the train or on the road, and nobody can measure it very properly. So that's where I, with my friend, where we started to work freelance. They say freelance, meaning not being employed by anyone. And that's where I firstly went a little bit deeper into how IT or how certain IT systems work. At that time, I was looking at how Google actually filters your searches and what is relevant for you and what is not. Because as a marketer, you need to sell the product and get the information about everything and anything to a very specific audience so that you are successful in actually selling the thing or the service. So that's where I firstly started to interact with algorithms and where I started to learn about how they are made and why and for what purpose. And coincidentally, at that time, Google was looking for an intern to their Prague office. And even though they looked for a master's from economics, and I was not even finished with my bachelor's in my social studies, I applied and it was a great fit. Mainly because I was already so deep into the marketing side and external side of their services, they actually hired me. And in Google, I got to look through a lot of data, a lot of systems, and I was analyzing where there are gaps in the market, meaning where Google lags behind our Google's competitors in the area of delivering advertisement online, basically, in simple words. And I started to study Masters in Economics and International Business while doing this internship. And I hated it. I hated it so much that I actually applied to Oxford, which is a great leap, but I was procrastinating so much that I was looking through Oxford sites just for fun. And I found the social science of the internet course, which is at the Oxford Internet Institute. So I opened it, I read it, I fell in love with it, and I said to myself, I should never apply because I could never get in. I was always in work, at work when I was studying my bachelor's. So my grades were just not great, not Oxford level. But anyways, I applied about a week later, and I really worked on that application. And as a good marketer, I really sold myself. And I also sold myself as a young woman from Eastern Europe that is interested in tech. And I think all the things combined, it worked, and they accepted me. So I left everything. I left Google. I left my flat, everything, and I moved to Oxford for 2 years. When I was there, I found it absolutely horrendous that there is nothing like a think tank that connects society and data. And so I founded it with my colleague, great colleague that is also in this call because his name is Josef Dašek. But when we tried to, for example, work on an analysis that would help policymakers in Czech Republic make informed decisions about our future and about the future of our economy and education and all of that, we found out that there is not much demand for these services that we would like to offer. And so that led us to work very closely with the public sector. and we worked with it so closely that we are now very much involved. Joseph in education and me personally as an advisor. I was an advisor even to the former prime minister, and now I'm an advisor to Ivan Bartoš, the prime. I never know how to say it. He has like thousands of titles, so it's the deputy prime minister for digitalization. Anyways, the main thing that I wanted to say is that IT can seem like an isolated thing, like women in IT, career in IT, changing careers. But I very much think so, believe and see around me that IT is not isolated. You can choose whatever interest you have, be it biology, be it video games, be it graphics, video, filmmaking, whatever you want, and just incorporate the IT side into it. I think the basic thing is knowing the principles of technology, how technology works, and then you can be either a mediator, which is very, very, very needed when you're talking to IT guys, proper real IT guys, and the other side, like Anka said, for example, you know, somebody has to manage those two groups and really translate everything that they are saying so that the other side can understand the other. So I think not only upskilling and reskilling into IT is important, but also interskilling, which is really just educating yourself outside the scope of your interest in the area of technology, because everything can be connected. I know biologists that build great IT systems with the help of their IT programmer guys, because they really understood what they need in order to analyze biologic data, for example, or whales, fish in the sea, whatever you can think of. So it's really about bringing technology into your career, and then you will automatically kind of level up in this IT world, let's say. And also, not only the application side and the programming side is needed, but also software skills in IT. Because me personally, I'm not a programmer. I had to learn several languages. I had to write several apps, but only to push me to understand the principles that technology is built on, to understand what programmers are talking about, for example. But now I'm focused and I'm trying to do my PhD in law, because we very much need the theory and the soft skills in order to make IT work for us. Because if we have plenty of programmers and plenty of applications, we also need the regulations and the protections for the people to use them and to benefit from them how they really can, and to move our society into living with tech with benefits and not be scared of it, for example. So even the softer side and softer interests like law, social sciences, philosophy, they are all very, very, very much needed. And I see it every day. These people, every sector, not only the public sector, but even private sector needs these people. And there is, I don't know how to say it. I only can think of a Czech kind of that they are like šafran. There is so little of them that they are always needed and always wanted. And also these people that are not very hard programmers, and that you can be too, you know, just understanding technology and bringing your skill set and expertise or future expertise into it. These are the people that I always say they do not work in IT. They make IT work, because they are the people that actually ensure that it all works together. So And I'm also convinced that when you have such a skill set and mixed kind of background, you came from marketing, or you came from sales, or you came from biology, or some of my friends came from, for example, linguistics, and they came into IT and they understood the world of IT, not specifically how to code in 3 languages, but they understand it, the world, then the work will always find them. They never have, you know, a free day in their lives if they don't want to, because you have such a specific skill set that someone always needs you. And what technology really needs and often lacks, the traditional field of technology, is another point of view. And if you have multiple point of views and you merge them and you create your own unique skill set, then you will be always needed in technology. And also, it's a very lucrative thing if you can really sell yourself after. So there is your motivation, girls and boys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We will move on now because we don't want to be too late with our event, and we are moving now to our Slovenian speakers. First, I would like to welcome Jasna Hengovic, who is software developer in Cosylab, working on the hottest projects in Cosylab with her co-workers. She's developing and integrating software and hardware for the most demanding, accurate, and advanced systems in the world, like ITR, ESA, CERN, ALMA. She is the proudest on the development of the software, which enables hospitals to treat cancer more efficiently with protonic therapy, which is way better than chemotherapy. And Jasna, please tell us more about it.
Hey, Katja, thank you.
Hey.
Hello to everyone. Very nice to be here. First, I would like to thank all the speakers before me. They were all very on topic, I would say. And I would agree with all of them. First, I would like to present to you my story. It's a bit different. I will go to the primary school where we had like a computer science. It wasn't like a course, yeah, computer science course. There were 2 levels there, one basic and the advanced one. In the basic one, we just played games for an hour or 2. And on the advanced one, they actually learned the basics of programming. I'm sad to say that I never got into that advanced course because my teacher then said that I can be in the basic one because that's okay, we just play games, but the advanced one is more for boys. Programming is not for girls. So then I was, I don't know, 10, 11 years old. I kind of thought, okay, maybe that's how the world works, right? So I kind of lost interest in that moment. Then I went on to high school. My high school was actually a gymnasium, but with economics. So we didn't have any physics, but we had a lot of economics, which is a nice skill set to have, at least the basics of it. And then when I was deciding on where to go to college, I was kind of pushed by my surroundings to go to study architecture, because that is something that is also for girls. And my father was a construction worker, so it was kind of a fit there. But luckily, I didn't get into the architecture study. You have like this exams before that. You need to draw some things and have a I don't know, some exams before that, and I didn't get in. But for my second option, I put down mathematics, and then I started studying mathematics. And I remember when I got the curriculum for the studies, I saw a basis of computer science somewhere in there, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know the mathematics has computer science. Oh, I'm losing words. Anyway, I didn't know that mathematics includes computer science, right? I never thought about it. I just put down mathematics. I was always good at mathematics and it was fun. So why not study it, right? And then with this kind of fear of computer science, I went to those classes and I was terrified by them. And I didn't do well there until one day I just sat down with one of the problems that we had there, and I said to myself, if I can do mathematics, why couldn't I do this, right? I just sat down for a few hours and go over the problem, and then in a moment it just clicked to me. It was simple, like mathematics, right? You just write down what you want and it happens. So that was like an epiphany to me. And from there on, me and computer science are best friends. So yeah, even though that my beginnings were not as one would wish for a girl to start in computer science, right? It kind of worked out for me. I kind of worry that maybe other girls didn't have such luck in maneuvering over the studies and education to get this chance. But yeah, then after my studies, I started programming, and I've been programming now for 12 years, I would say. First, I did some software for banking systems. Then I moved on to doing gambling machines for casinos, but the electronic ones. That was kind of fun. It was like programming a game, and then you need to test it, and you move there by the machine, and you click on it, and you see how it moves. All that was a fun thing. But it was a startup and it didn't work. So then I found a job in a company that does programs for the government mostly. I stayed there for about 8 years. I've learned a lot of technologies, different technologies, because they moved me around the projects. I also got involved with project management. And then in one point, I just said, okay, as a computer programmer, you need to educate yourself constantly to be on top of the things that are going on now, so you don't fall behind. And I really did put a lot of effort in all my education, and I wanted to do something more meaningful with all this that I gained through the years. And I started looking for another job where this could be done. And I found Cosylab, which does actually control systems for particle accelerators. And this is this involves ITER and CERN and European Space Agency. And the field that I'm working on now is actually doing the control systems for particle accelerators for proton therapy. I won't go into details about that, but it's a much more fulfilling mission than the one before. Here, I would like to emphasize what Tereza said before. It's really important to have like a different point of views and a lot of different, like she said, I have colleagues that are that studied chemistry, that studied physics, that studied medicine, and now we combine all this knowledge together and do something that's beyond all of us. So yeah, I think we're running out of time, so I will stop here. But just I would like to mention one more thing. I was named female engineer of the year for 2020. That's a project that has been going on in Slovenia for, now it's going to be the 5th year. They work on finding role models for girls in all engineering professions. So they each year name 10 nominees that each of them is a successful women in her field, but all are engineers. Okay, that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now for the last one, but not least, we have one of the nominees, I think, for this year's female engineer of the year. She's Lara Topol. She's the first main operator of the nuclear reactor in nuclear plant Krško. Imagine this. She's also the lead instructor of production staff, studied at the Faculty of Electronic and Computing in Zagreb, and became the Master of Science of Electrotechnics and Computing Technology. Lara, are you with us? Because I cannot see you on the screen.
Yes, my camera is on. Do you see me?
Okay, now I see you. Yes, I give you the floor, and please tell us about being operator of nuclear power plant.
Hello, Katya. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the great introduction. Yes, it is true. Very nice to meet you, Jasna. I didn't know that you were the winner of this contest, but I wouldn't exactly call it a contest. It's like a project which its main aim is to motivate young girls to start taking courses in STEM and going to universities that are STEM related. So it's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So I would like to thank all of the girls that were talking today, because it was also an inspiration for me, although I'm already 32 years old, but the inspiration was something we always need in life. And it was really interesting to hear all of the different stories, because for myself, I had a more like a straightforward path. I didn't jump so much between jobs and etc. So I would say that like main two ways to get the good opportunities or land good jobs right after you finish your college is through internship or maybe through scholarship. So me myself, I didn't do much internships, only one. But the main reason that I got my job and started the career in nuclear power plant Krško is the fact that I got a scholarship. So as you said earlier, I was born and raised in Zagreb, which is the main capital, which is the capital of Croatia. But I'm currently working in Slovenia and also commuting every day to Slovenia from Zagreb, which has been great so far, thanks to the EU. So actually, as I was saying before, I work in a nuclear power plant. A nuclear power plant is predominantly a male industry. So it's been, I must say, quite challenging to put myself out there and try to be seen from other colleagues as one of their equals. Because at first, I must say, I did feel some, I wouldn't say resentment, but maybe some, there were some skeptics if I'm gonna make it or not. And my main goal is to become a first senior reactor operator. Or main reactor operator in the control room, which nuclear power plant Krško never had before, since it started producing electricity in 1981. So it was a big challenge for me, and eventually I did succeed. And currently I also moved ahead from that position into teaching our current and our newly becoming licensed operator how to operate the reactor. So it's been very rewarding. But as I wanted to say, the thing with internship versus scholarship. So the way that I got my scholarship is by having excellent grades. And if you have excellent grades in university, then there's a little time left to maybe go and do some student exchanges or maybe do some extra activities. You have to invest a lot of time into just learning and getting those good grades. But at the end, it paid back because I got the scholarship, and that's how I got my job. So after the high school and after my master's, I immediately started working for a nuclear power plant, Krško. And when I started working there, firstly, we did almost a 3-year course into becoming a reactor operator. It's a special license. And I'm very pleased that today I got to talk to you also from the Czech Republic and from Slovakia, because as far as I know, these two countries have also a great electricity production capacities installed, and also the new ones have been built. So in that way, I'm inviting all of the young girls from our countries to look into opportunities to maybe take some STEM university studies and then try to find jobs in nuclear energetics. Because globally speaking, I think if you remember, after Fukushima, after 2011, nuclear energy in Europe used to be on the downside. But recently, everybody is figuring out that renewables are not the answer by themselves. Of course, they are part of the equation but to achieve green and electricity production, but definitely not the only part of the equation. So nuclear in that sense is definitely going to compensate for the closing coal electricity capabilities. For instance, like in Poland, 80% of the electricity that is being produced by the coal power plants. And as you all know, all the member of the EU, all the states promised that by the year 2050, I think, the majority of the energy production must be green. So way to achieve that is definitely by increasing nuclear capacities. After Fukushima, for instance, France, which has 59 reactors, operating reactors in its state, they used to promise that they're going to lower the electricity production from nuclear, but as of recently, they didn't really have done that, fortunately. But also they are now planning to expand the production. And the Germany is a special case because they did it really, the closing of the nuclear power plants in Germany was kind of done by force, which is quite sad because they had almost the best fleet quality-wise in the world. But they decided to shut all of them down, and they're kind of now banging their head against the wall. So a couple of weeks ago, they actually decided that the 3 remaining operating nuclear power plants left in Germany are still going to continue to produce electricity at least 1 year, because as we all know, unfortunately, Europe is kind of in an energy crisis right now. So I would say that like the main motivation for me when I was choosing my career and my job is the fact that I knew that we're always going to need energy, and that mostly it's going to be electricity in the future, because as we all heard about IT and all of that stuff, none of it would be possible if there was not for the electricity. So for the young girls that are choosing their career path, I think this is a great opportunity. There will always be good jobs. And for me, I have to be honest, because I never heard anyone maybe talking about it in such honest way, but being a woman in this world sometimes can be quite vulnerable and dangerous. And I must say that for me, one of the main motivators to choose my career is to be financially independent. Because when a woman is financially independent, she can choose for herself what she pleases, how she wants to live her life. She can make her choices. And I think that having a great, stable job, which is well paid, is very important in achieving a successful and happy life. So that's it from my side. I hope to hear from everybody in the breakout. Just ask me anything you want. If you want to know how the career path of a nuclear operator looks like, whatever, just reach out and I'll be happy to answer all of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all the speakers. You are amazing. And hopefully, girls, somebody got some inspiration to go to STEM studies and have a really nice grades and dedicate yourself for IT, ICT jobs, because there is a lot of jobs and the market is waiting for additional people to employ.